always wondered what that little hole at the top of a lollipop stick was. I'm sure you've wondered it too. Well, wonder no more. That's just in case you're enjoying your lollipop too much, accidentally swallow the stick, that hole lets you still breathe. Still don't swallow the stick, still dangerous, but it's good to know that they're thinking about us and our love for lollipops. This is actually the exact same reason why the tops of pens have holes as well. Have you ever wondered what the little dots on windshields are? I've always noticed them, but I've never questioned them, okay? They're there to actually protect the glue that keeps the window to the car. Because if they weren't there, the hot sun would just melt the glue and then your window would just fall. Just flop, 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 and then you'd have no window, and that would suck. All the bugs would get in your car.
That ain't so bad.
All the wind, all the cold. We want to keep all that stuff outside of the car. Good. Have you guys ever wondered what that tiny little pocket in your jeans is for? It was used back in the day when there were cowboys to keep their pocket watches in there. Is that because they just didn't have watches around their wrists, or is that because all the sand and dust would get in their watches? Either way, nowadays, that's not really necessary. But if you want, you can keep coins in there, or you can keep your coins in your wallet. I don't really use that pocket. I don't think I've ever used it, if I'm being honest. Have you guys ever used that pocket? I'm curious. If you brush your teeth, and you should, then you have seen these lines. These lines are on the back of every toothpaste. And you know what? Honestly, I have wondered what these were, but I've never thought to look it up until now. Okay, so the strange lines on the toothpaste aren't that exciting, but they have a purpose. They're used while they're on the production lines in the factories, so the machines can tell what type of toothpaste is coming out. So it's like, oh, this is the whitening one, it goes this way. Oh, this is the sensitive one, it goes into this package. That's why. The little holes you see on some backpacks are actually used to be able to attach more bags to it. Bags on top of bags on top of bags on top of bags. For example, a sleeping bag. You can tie one there. Very clever. I wonder if the people who have these bags even know what they're used for.
Bro, I had no idea.
That little strap on the back of shirts, sometimes also on the inside of jackets, is actually used for hanging up shirts and jackets. You know, when you don't have a hanger around, or so that you don't wrinkle them. Clever. But I knew this would already. I use it all the time. Does this make me a genius? Just even a little? Just a little? I just want a little. Just like a percent of a genius, okay? That doesn't really make me a genius if I'm only like point something 0.000% of a genius, but I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. Did you know that juice boxes have these little fold-out flaps so that kids can hold them like wings? But because kids have a tendency to like squeeze the juice really hard, and then the juice flies everywhere and everybody gets soaked in juice. But if you hold the sides, you can squeeze all you want. No juice is going anywhere. Why do I find out about all the little kid hacks when I'm not a little kid anymore? No fair. This could have prevented so many spills. Honestly, I could probably still use this. I'm still clumsy. I'm probably more clumsy than most little kids. Have you ever wondered why the McFlurry from McDonald's has that weird square-shaped spoon? It's because the spoon actually directly attaches to the McFlurry machine when they make your McFlurry, and it spins and it does its thing and boom, boom, boom. Flurry made. And this way, when they take it off, they actually don't have to clean the machine, because the only part that got dirty was that individual spoon that went into your cup. Genius. Now, if only we can invent something like this for dishes so that I never have to do a dish again, you know? I guess that's just called paper plates, and that's horrible for the environment, so I think I'm stuck doing plates. Did you know that the Domino's pizza box actually has a secret stand hidden in the box? If you fold the little tabs over and you fold the box over, you get a stand. Honestly, I don't really see how this makes the pizza better or more accessible. Like, you're literally raising the cheesy goodness this much further from the table. Like, you're telling me you can't bend over this much more? I'm suspicious. This is sus. It's interesting, but also a little useless. Did you know that wine glasses are made this way to keep the wine cool? So you're supposed to hold the wine glass right here, but don't drink if you're underage. But this could go if you had water in the wine glass too, you know? Because if you're holding the top of this, then your water would get heated by the heat of your hands. But if you're holding the stem, it stays at the perfect temperature. Those little kickstands on your keyboard are actually not made for the comfort of your wrist. It's actually better for your wrist if it's lying flat down. But what it's actually there for is for you to be able to see your keys better, in case that's more important. Now, this one my mom has been using wrong for years. Like, we've always used it as a storage cupboard, okay? These little cabinets under the stove, I've always thought, you know, it's to store pots and pans. No. It's actually made to keep your food warm. So after you've made it on the stove, you can put it there and it'll stay warmer for longer in case you're like not eating anytime soon. We need to let the parents know that we're smarter this one time. This weird dent in the side of milk jugs is actually there for a reason. It's there to relieve pressure in case you drop the milk jug so that it won't explode and milk won't go everywhere. So in theory, if you drop a milk jug, it should be fine. Should be. Don't test this unless you're okay with milk going everywhere. I mean, you shouldn't be, because then you gotta clean it up. Did you guys know that if you put all the British coins together that they make a shield? It's a fun little Easter egg if you're from England or if you're ever visiting England. Just, collect all the coins, make a shield, call it a day, show everybody. Gaming cartridges taste horrible. Not speaking from experience or anything. To our disappointment, this is actually done on purpose.
Mamma mia!
They purposely make them taste extremely bitter just in case a little kid puts it into his mouth or her mouth, then they spit it right out because it's gross. That little groove on the top of a mug actually has a purpose, and it's a pretty clever one at that. This is for when you put your mug in the dishwasher upside down, the water will actually flow out of the groove instead of lying inside of the top, because the top is a little curved, You know what I'm saying? You know those brushes on the side of escalators? They're not made to keep your shoes clean. I know that sounds nice, but they're not. They're actually there so that you don't stand too close to the side, because that's dangerous. You could literally get hurt and your clothing can get sucked inside. Escalators are actually low-key super dangerous. Always make sure you have no long hanging scarves or shoelaces and you don't stand too close to the edge, because I don't really want to explain it, but just don't. Just be careful. Take care of yourself. I love you. You'll be fine. Just be cautious. I don't mean to give everybody nightmares or anything. Have you guys ever wondered why there were tiny little holes in plane windows? That's for when the plane flies up high into the sky. The pressure in the cabin stays safe. Can you believe that a tiny little hole like this keeps everybody safe? What if everybody at the same time put their thumbs over the holes? I don't even want to think about that. Oh no. I see these cylinders all over my cables. Not on all of them, but on a lot of them. They're actually used to stop interference from electromagnetic waves. That way the cable works no matter what. Those tiny little discs on the top of bottle caps, I've seen them, you've seen them, your dog has seen them, your mom has seen them, we've all seen them. They're actually necessary to close the bottle when it's sealed at the factory. It helps keep all those bubbles in your soda and keeps it from getting flat. Nobody likes flat soda. Sunglasses kind of seem like they're obviously glasses for the sun, right? But actually, originally, they weren't made for the sun. That was just an afterthought. They were at first designed to keep the snow from dazzling your eyes. The blue end of an eraser. I've heard that it's supposed to help you erase ink. I've heard that that was a lie. I've heard that it's not a lie. I've heard that it's a lie. I've heard everything. Turns out it is for ink. But it doesn't work on normal paper. It needs to be a hard, thick paper. Otherwise, you just tear through the paper and it doesn't work. There you have it. We've just been using the wrong material all along. Have you ever wondered why donuts have that hole in the center? And if they didn't have that hole, that would just mean more donuts for you. But it's actually so that donuts can bake evenly throughout. Otherwise, the center always ends up soggy. Okay, but the jelly-filled ones, I guess those are a bit different because they're filled. I got so many questions. I have always wondered about those white stripes on the old headphone jacks. I'm like, do I have any old headphone jacks here? No, and by the time I find them, it'll be tomorrow. But I guess you could just see the one right here on the screen. Anyways, the reason those stripes are there is so that you can hear music on both sides. Otherwise, you'd only hear it in one ear. It connects the wires. The little tab on the back of your stapler is actually used to remove staples. In case you went staple crazy and you gotta fix your mistakes and all your problems and all your life worries. Okay, it won't do all that for you, but it will remove your staples. You just have to scrape the staple up and pop it off. That little ridge on the bottom of a tape measure is actually used to hang it on nails or screws. I always use it around corners of desks. For example, if I'm measuring the desk, I'll put it on the corner. Close enough, right? You can also use the sharp ridge to make a marking on the wall so you know exactly where to cut or draw or drill. That little car and a tab. Okay, I meant the little tab in your car, that the one in the little mirror, and it's there. And I'm always like, that's just for adjusting the mirror, right? No, you can actually pull it down, and that's used at night to stop the lights from cars behind you blinding you. we don't want to get blind, right? You know those tiny little dents in chocolate boxes? I know those tiny little dents. I've had too much chocolate in my life. They're actually there so you don't struggle to get the chocolate out with your fingers and don't get your fingers covered in chocolate because you're just trying to get at it. Basically, if you push down, the chocolates will kind of tilt on their sides and then you can easily grab them and eat them and enjoy them and hopefully not get stomach aches. Who am I kidding? That's impossible. The extra holes in your shoes, they're there so you can tie them extra tight. It's really helpful for runners so your shoes don't, get left behind. You know those dots? Those colorful dots seen on packages? They're there for a reason, but it's not very exciting. I wish it was. I wish it was some code from aliens and we had to decipher it, but it's not. Instead, it just represents the colors that the printer used to make the packaging. Probably for when they want to go recreate it. Cool story, bro. I hope you guys learned so many things in this video. I love you all.